Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up on a big show today as we head into an important weekend, we catch up with Joao Moreira, the current leading rider here in Hong Kong. His thoughts on the weekend as we head towards HKIR. And of course, it's Jockey Club Day, the final major trials as we head towards HKIR. The Cup, the Mile and the Sprint all run at Group 2 level. A very warm welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Jern. Glad to say I'm joined by Hong Kong Direct regulars in Graham Cunningham and Ed Sadler. And Graham, just about all the big names are here on the weekend.
Apart from Beauty Generation, but it's always been a really significant day. 10-year trend tells you that 21 HKR winners have contested this day in one of the big races. But they don't always win and then go on to win in December. Only 6 of those 21. So it's not just the winners you need to keep a close eye on. Some of the beaten horses can shine in December too.
Yeah, you could possibly argue classic legend as well. He's just working on his Hong Kong residency as we speak. Ed, with the early season handicaps out of the way, now it's set weights and penalties. It becomes a bit clearer, doesn't it?
It does, definitely. You've had in these early season handicaps, the handicaps, the weight factor, and also horses running over insufficient distances, building up towards their grand final. This time it's the dress rehearsal. We're one step away from their grand finals. They're running over their right trips. Apart from the Group 1 winners, they don't have the weight penalties. So this is when we genuinely get to see where they're at this campaign.
All right, should be pretty straightforward then. Before we get into the races themselves, let's catch up with Joao Moreira. Ed caught up with him early in the week, talk about the season so far, and as we head to a big weekend and HKIR down the road.
Wow, so far so good. I couldn't be any happier with that. You know, I did have a good start, and we all know it's hard to keep up, but I will definitely keep on doing my best to keep the good rhythm. Zach is a good jockey. He's a champion jockey. He's proven himself. He might not be getting the support that he's been getting the last 3 seasons, and that's probably why I found myself in front with numbers of winners ahead. But I've been in that position before. And I can never just feel relaxed because I know, as you said yourself, he's going to come strongly middle of the season, and at the end of the season he's always going to get support and he's going to be right there fighting for the title. So I'm in the striking spot at the moment and I'm happy to be there, and what I can say, I'll be doing my very best to stay there.
Hot King Prawn kept going. Mr. Stunning's not done, reeling him in, but Hot King Prawn, he is a ripper.
Hot King Prawn is a very nice horse, you know, individual, physically and mental. He holds the pressure and he just do it very straightforward. We took him to the trials, he's done it as I would love him to. I'm going to that race with full of confidence, respecting the others, but no doubt that I'm going to get on top of a very fit horse, a very healthy horse, and I'm going there with plenty of confidence. I gotta be honest, Champion's Way, his last couple of runs, he fights me a little bit, and if he did not travel as keen as he did, he would have run better races. John has taken the blinkers off, and today at the trials he showed me that he can be a little bit more relaxed without it, and I think he's going to put on another good race, but showing respect to Golden Six. I think at the moment he's the best horse in Hong Kong.
Furore snatched the lead in the purse and snatched the purse from Exultant and Dances with Dragon, and it's Furore Sasa Ladies purse.
I'm very, very sure he's going to produce again. For how many more races, hard to predict, but he had 2 starts now. He's going to have another one just before the international races. And just when we get into the international race, Exultant is not going to be there. So we're going into a very nice, into the international race with a horse having a very nice preparation. We are very blessed and lucky to have a jurisdiction that was able to keep on racing. So my tribute and my gratitude to all the leaders that was able to make it happen. We all have to be a little bit more cautious in regards to the virus because it's all around. So it's been a very abnormal situation for all of us. I do have relatives that has tested positive, but all of them has been able to cope with it and go through, and they're fine now. They already gone out of quarantines. They all okay, but of course I'm very worried about my mom in particular, who are not very young, and I can't see her being very strong to fight it if she gets it. But the person who worries me the most has been the most committed to don't expose herself. So Brazil is the place where I want to go next, to just give a big kiss and a hug to my mom, who I miss very much.
Well, I think many people in the same boat there, Graham, hoping that normality will return in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Speaks from the heart always, Sean. That was really nice to see. And his season at the moment, things can change. We've seen it before, but it feels like a runaway train. He's riding beautifully, and the clear difference is he's got the in with Casper fans who can do no wrong.
Yeah, Sable's absolutely flying at the moment. We'll talk about some of his runs on the weekend in a moment, Casper fans and Joe. But yeah, with all the changes going on in 2020, the one constant is Joe keeps riding winners.
He does indeed, yes. And he's been beaten the last couple of years by Zach Purton in the Jockey's title, but he's got off to a flying start. He leads by 13 wins, and as you say, Graham, he's got that association with Casper fans, but he's continued that successful relationship too with John Size.
Yeah, important to keep him with John as well. Being the leading rider, or being one of the 6 leading riders this year, Graham, is important for the IJC. Essentially, himself, Zach, Vincent guaranteed a spot, and we assume Alexi as well. It gets a little bit more, it's a little bit more open then for the final spots in the IJC night.
Yeah, 2 meetings to go before that final 2 positions are decided. Alexi Bedell, someone's going to have to shoot the lights out to knock him out of the standings. Could be Neil Callan, who's in great form. Wagner Borges keeps riding winners. Chad Schofield comes back this weekend from injury, Hungary. Even Derek Lung, if he was to have a massive day. So there's 1 spot left, Edward, and it's all to play for.
Definitely the last 2 meetings coming up before it's all sorted out. So a lot to play for Sunday and then Wednesday night at Happy Valley. And some great young riders, Andrew, too, coming over from overseas for the IJC.
Absolutely. So we've got Ryan Moore, William Buick, Pierre-Charles Boudot, Mikel Barcelona, Tom Marcon and Holly Doyle as the 6.
There's a real mixture of absolutely proven superstars and rapidly ascending youngsters. And that Holly Doyle and Tom Marquand story is amazing, and it's going to garner a huge amount of media attention because they're riding big winners, quantity, quality. There are a couple on the track, and they're going to be formidable opponents on the track on the 9th of December.
Right, that's IJC nights, the Wednesday before HKR, of course. Let's get into the weekend action. Now, we'll start off with a sprint, which comes up as race number 5 on the programme. It's the second of the Group 2s, headed by Hot King Prawn, beaten by Wishful Thinker last time out, but a big swing at the weights. Big time baby, first up since April, running behind Mr. Stunning at Group 1 level. Voyage Royal Pro roll forward. Wishful Thinker claimed a couple of big scalps of that win last time out. Big Party now teamed up with Chad Schofield. Computer Patch beaten as favourite to Wishful Thinker last time out. Amazing start, and down to stronger Douglas White and Alexi, but they're really thrown in the deep end here. He's a long way out of the handicap, if you'd like to call it that, Graham, but Douglas White has obviously got a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, he's not scared of pitching horses indeed, but Hot King Prawn is plainly the key horse. He's lost 9 of his last 10, but they were nearly all against the A team, and if you're a figures guy, he's got £6 and more in hand. He doesn't have a Group 1 penalty, and he's won this race before.
Yeah, what is he, £13 better off with Wishful Thinker for that last beating. He didn't really attack the line, though, did he? That's the one sort of nagging doubt in my mind about him.
Yes, I thought he was a little bit flat first up. I think if you're going with Hot King Prawn, he's such a consistent horse, but you're going on that he's improved from that first up run because he would have needed to, based off that effort. He has trialled well since then, so that's what you're going on with him.
Is Computer Patch the real deal? Is he a genuine Group 1 horse, do we think?
It's too early to say that, but it's not too early to say he's a big runner this weekend. I'm certain that horse is still improving, and I think he ran a personal best last time, despite the way the race developed, rather than because of it. He went really hard. He was on pretty much track record pace for the first 800 metres, and he didn't go away. He ran on pretty well for second, so I think he's likely to be given slightly more patient ride this weekend with Amazing Star set to make the pace. I think Computer Patch is a danger to all.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Amazing Star, Ed? He's got a tricky sort of gait on paper.
He does, but I think the key to him is, as we saw at Happy Valley last time out, I think they've tried to teach him to settle so that he can finish off his races a little bit stronger rather than going hard and fast. Again, we saw that in a recent barrier trial where he looked super the way that that he travelled. He's always shown potential. He's a lightly raced horse for his age, but the way that he's trialled his last start win, I think he might have a bit of X factor for this race.
Now, what about the others, Graham? Big Party always sort of sucks me in. I don't know if he's quite at that sort of Group 1 level anyway, but maybe Group 2?
I think I cottoned on to him reasonably early that it's in his head. Frankie Law said as much recently. I think he's a bit of a two-timer. The ability's there. I couldn't really trust him. Wishful thinker. What do we make of his last performance? He ran one of the fastest ever 1,200 metre finishing times here at Sha Tin. But I think he was 0 from 13 before then. So either Dennis Yip has got him really rolling again, or he was ideally suited by the way that race developed. I think it was the latter option.
We'll just hold on to your final thoughts for a moment. We'll come back to the tips at the end of the show. Still plenty more to come as we look at the Cup and the Mile after the break. Still plenty more to get through on Hong Kong Direct. Ed Sale and Graham Cunningham still with me as well to look ahead to the Mile and the Cup. But don't forget about the special campaign website, hkjc.com. You'll find all the links there that will link you through to the big week here in Hong Kong, IJC nights, and then the 4 Group 1s on Sunday, of course, as well. All the news coming up to the big day. Next up for us, though, is the Mile, which is actually the first of the Group 2s of the afternoon. It is race number 3 on the programme, headed by Southern legend Casper Founds and Karis Teton, dropping back from the 1,800 metres behind Fiore in the Star Ladies Purse last night. Golden 60, looking for his 10th straight win here. Kai Ying Star will set the tempo up early. Got Simply Brilliant returning from a long break. Harmony Victory, Champions Way, Joao Moreira, and Mighty Giants, the new kid on the block for Ricky Yu and Zach Purton. Obvious place to start, Graham, is with Golden 60. Does he have an Achilles heel?
I haven't seen it.
No.
I haven't seen it, and the clock tells you that he's a terrific horse. Now, some would say, well, he's beating the same horses month in, month out, but the clock tells you that this is a horse capable of just uncoiling a sub-22 second final split, and he does it looking like he's got much more to give. So this is his final dress rehearsal, Edward. We know things can go wrong, but it looks his race to win or lose, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Small field, but he can handle any circumstance. He can be handy and still produce that turn of foot, or if they do go to a strong tempo, he can get back and run them down. He toyed with them last time out, even though the margin says only half a length with his winning margin. I think he's the most exciting horse Hong Kong racing's had since Abel Friend.
All right, yeah, and he was sort of, I suppose, if you wanted to knock him, you say he was just lugging in a little bit. What do you put that down to? Just...
He's done that once or twice before. He sort of puts his cue in the rack once he's done. He doesn't win by wide margins, but it's when that surge comes and you just know you've seen something really special. So I hope he wins and wins really well. He's got that tremendous thing that anyone can identify, a horse who just goes zip. And any sports fan can say, oh yes, I understand what that's all about. So he's got that. He's going for 10 in a row. He's Hong Kong through and through, owner, trainer, jockey. He himself is a PPG, an imported horse with no racing experience. He represents a lot of what is great about Hong Kong racing, and if only he knew the pressure he was under because of that.
I don't think it would bother him. I think he just knows how to do his job. He gets the job done. Francis Lloyd's done a terrific job with him, and I know the point is he might have only beaten the same horses over again, but he beat the 4-year-olds last season. That was the target. This time out, he's beaten Beauty Generation. He's beaten Kai Ying Star, so he's beaten the older horses. And who knows, International Day, I think he'll be there to beat the international competitors too.
I sometimes think that Francis Lloyd gets lost in this a little bit because he's so unassuming, but obviously doing a fantastic job with him, as Ricky Yu has with Mighty Giant, who's putting a sequence together, but the weights and measures says that it's going to be a massive step up for him.
Absolutely, but Ricky's been eyeing a crack at Golden 60 for a month or two now, and a very different horse to Golden 60. Big, powerful, bold white face, aggressive on the speed galloper. He's up in class appreciably, but he's done it somewhat the hard way in handicaps, Edward, and he's burned the candle at both ends. He's had to go hard to get on the speed, and then he's had to battle hard to fight off the finishers.
And he's been so tough in the manner that he's won those races as well too, as you say, up on the speed. He's had the challenges. He's beaten some good horses last time out, the likes of Skyfield, Lucky Express, who are good horses on the rise, but he was too tough for them. He's won his last 5 in a row, so I don't think he'll be able to beat Golden 60, but I think he'll be very competitive. All
right, on the international ratings, he should be getting a stone from Golden 60, meets him on levels and gets up in trip, and that's the question we posed to big race jockey Zach Purton.
It's a big throw at the stumps. It's hard to go there with a lot of confidence thinking you're going to beat Golden 60. He's such a good horse. But my bloke can only win, and he's been doing that. You know, he hasn't been beyond 1400 metres before either, so he's got to step up in distance and a big jump up in class. But he's honest, he'll give us his best. He's got a good racing style, so he'll be out there, and let's hope he can do it.
I think he's a really exciting inclusion into this race, Mighty Giant. Can't wait to see what he can do. Of the others, though, Graham, Champions Way, your Carling Stars and your Southern Legends?
Champions Way just keeps getting wind burn from Golden 60. Even did so in a trial the other day. Carling Star's the one for me to put it up to Golden 60. Slightly better off at the weights. He's only won one from his last 15, but he dug in really hard against Golden 60 last time. And don't forget, he was second to a high-class horse in this race last year in Waikuku.
That's right. He beat Beauty Generation as well too when he ran second in the race. Beauty Generation third. He'll be up there. He'll be in it for a long way. He's not quite good enough to win, but he'll try his best. Southern Legend, this is a sort of fork in the road day for him in terms of, does he go on to the mile after this race, or does he go to the Cup in December? We know how honest he is, so again, he's going to be very competitive.
Slightly disagree on that. If Golden 60 nods in any way, Carling Star is capable of winning this race. He's right on form now, and Tony Cruz's horses, as we've seen, are rolling at the moment.
Yeah, Chad Schofield has got a great record on Carling Star as well, 4 rides for a win and 2 second places as well. Simply Brilliant and Harmony Victory would be a bit of a surprise, I think, if they were to win. We wish them best of luck all the same. Moving on then to the final Group 2 on the programme, that is race number 7, and that is the Cup itself. Exultants go round again after being beaten by Fiore last time out, but he's warming up to try and reclaim his title, of course, on International Day. Fiore was mighty, winning the Sarsar Ladies Purse last time out. Shafano, definite excuse for him last time in the Ladies Purse. Ho Ho Khan, good run behind Fiore. Dancing with Dragon really established himself now as a player within this rank. Columbus County, the second of the Found Runners, comes here on a hat-trick, and down to Singapore Sling, who's possibly a little bit disappointing maybe behind Fiore last time out. I didn't mention Time Warp then either, but he obviously deserves a mention. He'll be rolling along from the front. Big ask for him though, Graham. Exultant at Fiore, the big two?
Definitely. I think it sets up for another head-to-head between the two, as we saw in the Sarsar Ladies Purse. Don't forget, it was 6-0 in the head-to-heads to Exultant before that race. So either Fiore has just blossomed again, and it's possible because Joao Moreira was on board for the first time and he ripped out a 22.2 finisher. Better off at the weights this time, Exultant. Should be sharp at the run. He's building towards the Vase again.
Certainly, and also when you look at the makeup of the race, there doesn't look to be a lot of speed in it. Andrew, you've said Time Warp will roll along, but outside of that, there doesn't look to be a lot of pace in the race. Zach's drawn wide on Exultant. He can take him back if he wants to, but we've seen those mid-race moves, how successful they've been. As for Fiore, well, Tony Cruz, he hasn't run many bad races.
He was confident after the race, wasn't he?
After the race, yes. I should have bumped into him before the race because he said he thought he was going to win on Ladies' First Day.
It was a super effort all the same. Casper Founds has Dances with Dragon and Columbus County. Very interesting inclusion in the field here. Let's catch up with the King of the Valley, gets his thoughts on his 2 runners.
Let's start off with Dances with Dragon. Have you been pleased with the way his preparation's gone?
He's been absolutely flying. You know, he's has not put in a bad run for me. Obviously now he's up with the big boys. It's going to be tough, but I'm very happy that he's drawn a soft gate, because I'd like to take advantage of that and just have him just behind the speed rather than him being out the back and rattling home, you know. So it'll give us a chance to see where we're at with the big boys under these terms for this race, and hopefully he can show us that he can be competitive, and if he does, then we can certainly look at December realistically, and again, he's another horse, 2,000 to 2,400 looks within his compass. Yeah, I got a lot of time for this horse. He's been a late maturing type. Not a big horse, but he's certainly got a big heart. And I was quite confident going to that race first up. You know, prepared him, I felt, well enough to give us a big run. And he certainly did that, you know, and was quite strong on the line. So he's the type of horse, even though he's rated 106, we really don't know where his rating is. He could be a 120 horse with a bit of luck, you know. So I'm hopeful that he can come out there and mix it with them. Again, you know, that it's a race that the ratings aren't in his favour. You know, so it's going to be tough, and I always respect these set weight races, and you always respect horses that have got the ratings in hand. But like I said, he's the type of horse that he could take that next step.
I think both these horses have some sort of place claims. Graham, what are your thoughts? Columbus County was interesting. A big win at Happy Valley.
Yeah, they definitely need to be in your trio quartet calculations. Columbus County was really good last time. It was Class 2 handicap, Happy Valley. He put it to bed like that. And he's only had 8 runs. I think he's improving fast. Dances with Dragon sort of came the long way home last time. He ran well, but do bear in mind, I think he's 5 and 11 pounds worse off with the 2 who beat him. So I think Columbus County and Dances with Dragon, both 3rd and 4th place contenders. Columbus County, perhaps the one with more progression in him.
How do we play it, Sir Graham? The 3 Group 2s on the weekend, 1 horse for each race.
The horse we've neglected to mention in detail, and we should do, because tactically Time Warp, as so often, holds the key. And he's been a member of the awkward squad for Exultant and Zach Purton so many times. It all depends how hard he goes. The stronger he goes, the better for Exultant. If not, it could get slightly messy. But I think it's going to be a repeat of last time, but this time perhaps with Exultant wearing down Furore, just as he did in this race 12 months ago. The mile, for me, has to be Golden 60, but I think Kying Star will keep him honest. And in the sprint, I'll take my chances that Computer Patch, with a more even pace, can give Hot King Prawn a good run.
Ed?
It's not always that I agree 100% with Graham, but we're a team this week, Graham. I'm with Computer Patch as well for the sprint. For the Cup, I think Exultant's the best horse in the race, and likewise Golden 60. It's hard to see him being beaten in the mile on the weekend.
All right, I'll go with Hot King Prawn. I think it's a little bit flat in this sprint, but I think better off at the weights this time round. Otherwise, we're in full agreement. Looking at the diary then, it's a slightly earlier start for us this weekend. So 12:45 for the first. The big races 3, 5 and 7, and Happy Valley, and then return to Sha Tin next weekend for the Chevalier Cup. All right, great job. Thanks as always, guys. That's the show. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you this week with Viva Pitaka, one of the giants of Hong Kong racing. Back-to-back victories in the Cup. Exultant is trying to do that this weekend as well. So enjoy this. We'll see you again on Sunday and bring all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
Here comes the champ, Viva Pitaka. He ambled up on the outside. Beedman hasn't touched him as yet. Viva Pitaka ahead in front of Hawke's Bay. Jackpot Delight out of the packs running on. Now he feels for Viva Pitaka. He draws away now from Hawke's Bay. Then Jackpot Delight, and Viva Pitaka only had to sprint the last 100 and he beat Hawke's Bay.